What is your view on Jesus in Islam? Do you guys believe in Jesus? Do you not believe in Jesus?
We believe in Jesus. We believe in Jesus, but we don't believe that he died. We believe that his soul went to the hereafter, and then
Okay.
he's gonna come back, eventually defeat the Antichrist. And
Okay.
yeah, so we believe in Jesus. We believe in his resurrection as well.
Okay.
We don't believe he's the son of God, though.
When you said you believe his, I know that part, that you don't believe he's the son of God, but when you said that you believe his resurrection, what do you mean by that?
Like he is gonna come back to the earth and defeat Antichrist eventually, and unite all the Muslims. That's what
Okay. Because you had said earlier that you don't believe that he died.
No,
Because that's what confused me.
he's-
You say you didn't believe he died, but then you
but
said
he
you
will be technically resurrected. What I mean is like his soul went to the heavens, and then eventually his soul will come down again and take a human form again.
Okay.
So yeah, we don't believe he died per se.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, do you believe he was perfect, or do you believe he was a sinner like everyone else?
To be honest, I'm not sure in regards to that. I know one person who was the most perfect human being. That was Prophet Muhammad. I don't know much about Jesus' life story. I'm pretty sure he made some mistakes here and there.
Okay. So the reason I asked that is because I've talked to many Muslims before, like I said, we've gone to Guyana and so forth, and I like to see if there's a consistency within the beliefs. For the most part, there is.
Okay.
I've noticed that there is. Obviously, I'm not going to count people who they say they're Muslim and they're not really, don't read their book or anything like that. But the only difference, though, that I found so far, which might be a small thing, maybe you could look into it afterwards, is that most people from reading the Quran, and I've read the Quran 75% through. I haven't finished it yet. But I've read it, and what I've come to the conclusion of is that they do believe in Jesus. They don't believe he's the son of God, which we agree on there. But I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the Quran teaches that Jesus was sinless, that he had no sin, but that Muhammad actually had sin. So it's the other way around. And I'm pretty sure that there are other Muslims that would agree with that statement as well. Maybe you could look into it. Maybe it's something you got to. But so when it comes to that, my other question now is do you know what the Christians believe that it takes to get to heaven? So I let Shane explain his beliefs, and I do that for a couple of reasons. First, it's good for you to hear what Muslims actually believe, especially when they say things like Allah has no son or that Jesus isn't the son of God. That's huge, because later I'll bring them to John 17, where Jesus prays and calls God Father, showing he's not Muslim at all. Plus, Muslims don't have any real record of Jesus, of how he prayed, or what he taught, so they have to rely on the Bible. Second, I like to point out that Jesus was perfect. In Luke 18:18, Jesus says only God is good. So if Jesus is perfect, that means he's God.
The harvest truly is plenteous, but the laborers are few.